first of all, can I help some of the so-called reporters and correspondents and commentators here going to Nikki Haley supporters, all 7 of them, and saying to them, will you vote for Trump if Haley's not the nominee? No, I'll never vote for Trump. When Reagan was running in 1980 with multiple opponents, including George Bush, they didn't go up to Bush supporters and everybody else and say, well, if Ronald Reagan's the nominee, will you vote for him? You know why? Because when you're in primary fights, the voters for one candidate or another, they'll say, no, I won't, because the battle's not over. So the question is sophomoric. The question is based on inexperience. The question is based on pushing a point of view or an answer rather than reality. You don't hear what I'm saying to you now, that most of the Republicans will come home. There will be the holdouts. There will be the holdouts. We know who they are. But I want you to listen to, by the way, big-time guest at the bottom of the hour. You're not going to want to miss it. It's a great surprise. Hello. I've never misled you. Bottom of the hour. Jennifer Palmieri, former Hillary Director of Communications. She was on MSLSD today, probably fighting for space with Nikki Haley. Listen to this. Cut 7, go.
She's never going to become the Republican nominee, but as long as she stays in, she's helping Joe Biden. You know,
there you go. Even the Democrats know this, and they're not hiding it. As long as she stays in, she's helping Joe Biden and the Democrats. It's my contention, based on what I see and hear, that Nikki Haley is, in fact, trying to sabotage Donald Trump. And it is my contention that that's the avenue she sees towards 2028. I hope it forever cripples any potential candidacy that she may have. God knows I'll be leading that fight. But that's what she's about. She is out to sabotage Trump. And she's not doing it because of some righteous reason other than a self-righteous one. She's not doing it because she wants to give the voters an opportunity to vote. They are voting. And they're voting against her, even in open primaries. She's not doing it because she's some kind of little d Democrat or David versus Goliath. She's doing it because she's an egomaniac. I saw one voter interviewed by Bill Malugin on Fox. She's from Maine. She voted in Maine, but she was visiting in South Carolina. And he asked her, would you vote for Donald Trump if Haley loses? She said, no, I won't do that. I won't do that. So people who are voting for Nikki Haley, many of them prefer Joe Biden. People who are voting for Nikki Haley, many of them obviously are also in favor of sabotaging Trump. But that said, most of them will come home. But here's the question. She says, I'm for Nikki Haley because she supports what I support. She's a strong woman, and she was a great governor. And so my follow-up question would have been, how so? Name 3 things she did as governor. And she would have been utterly perplexed with a constipated look on her face. In Nikki Haley, they're creating an impression. That is the media. Nikki Haley, they're creating a feeling, an emotion. Notice, not during any of the interviews on friendly media or Democrat Party media, do they ever question her record as governor? Do they ever discuss her record as governor? Nothing. Absolutely nothing of substance. Because they don't want to pierce that veil that they've created. So there's no reason for Nikki Haley to be in the race other than to sabotage Trump. And she's already said, as her friends at the Wall Street Journal and Summit National Review have said, and elsewhere, she could be prophetic, not pathetic, although that's how I view it, prophetic, you see, because if the Republicans lose in 2024 with Trump, Nikki warned us, but Nikki is plotting to do exactly that. She might endorse Trump when she's done, but she's already done the damage. The cancerous poison has already been spewed in a race that's going nowhere. Now, she could do well in some of these states. And we're going to be here covering it live because some of the states close at 7 p.m. Eastern, Vermont, Virginia, North Carolina. There's a lot of liberal Republicans in Virginia, certainly in Vermont. 8 p.m. Eastern, you've got Alabama, Maine, Massachusetts, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Arkansas. So you've got Maine and Massachusetts. Who knows? Could do a little better there. At 9 p.m., you've got Colorado, where half the registered voters are independents. And then 11 p.m., you have California, Utah, and Alaska. So you do have that. Imagine the amount of free media that Nikki Haley's gotten from the corporate media, the big platforms. Imagine. I want to tell you something else. This State of the Union speech that Biden will give on Thursday, and we'll cover it here, will be one of the most hideous, nasty, hateful, demagogic, propaganda operations we've ever seen. Joe Biden is desperate. And when Joe Biden is desperate, he'll do anything and everything for power. When he got elected in 1972 and 1973, entered the Senate, he embraced the racist segregationists. The two senators from Mississippi, the senator from West Virginia, and even George Wallace, who later embraced him. They all embraced him. And he wasn't just sort of walking around. He was, in fact, one of the leaders of the anti-public school integration movements. Something, again, that Mr. Democracy never wants to talk about as he rewrites his history. Joe Biden is by far now, the most anti-Semitic president in American history. And that's not easy. He's outdone Obama, and before him, he's outdone Franklin Roosevelt. But every day that goes by, Joe Biden and his comrade Blinken and the rest of them keep issuing executive orders, punishments, investigations, threats against the state of Israel. The Biden administration has become the worst ally, the worst partner Israel's ever had. And but for the fact that they are desperate for munitions, because now they're not only fighting Hamas, but Hezbollah, because, as was pointed out on my Saturday show, Iran is going for nukes. Iran's going to get nukes, and the only country that has the courage to stop them is Israel, not Joe Biden. They're bogging down Israel. The October 7 attack was intentional. The timing of it was intentional. It was ordered by Iran, as is now Hezbollah firing hundreds of missiles into Israel. You don't even hear about this. Hundreds of missiles into Israel. And I want to remind you, because I'm the only one mentioning this, and when it happens, you're going to hear, like I said, no, they never say. Not on TV or radio. They're always behind the curve. Not all, but most. IAEA chief, I keep bringing it up. That's the UN. We have lost track of the Iran nuke progress. They've been cut out. IAEA Chief Grossi has expressed growing concern of Iran's nuclear safety protocols in place. He told the IAEA Board of Governors of the UN concerning Iran's nuclear advancement that the agency has lost continuity of knowledge about the production and inventory of centrifuges, rotors, bellows, heavy water, and uranium ore concentrate. So they've lost control over that which is necessary to make nuclear weapons and to launch them. What is Joe Biden going to say about that in his State of the Union address? Nothing. It is 3 years since Iran stopped provisionally applying its additional protocol, and therefore it also 3 years since the agency was able to conduct complementary access in Iran. Next, he referred to a recent Iranian nuclear official who said that all aspects of the nuclear weapons cycle are complete, that the only obstacle to Tehran producing a nuclear weapon is the political decision to do so. Not only do I believe, as Mr. Greenway said on my program Saturday, that the attack on October 7 and now Hezbollah and all the rest of it going on was a plot by Iran to take attention off its nuclear weapons. But I believe that Joe Biden knows it. Now, why that? Because my next theory is this. It's more reality. I just reason things. Why would Iran, Mr. Producer, water down the nuclear capacity of the uranium it's producing? Why would they do that? Now they can jack it back up in a matter of weeks. Why would they do that, America? Because they want Biden reelected. They want Biden reelected before they test their nukes. And if Biden gets reelected, as soon as he gets reelected, they will test their nukes. You understand what I'm saying? Folks, I'm telling you what's going on. It's just a matter of analysis, of using your brains, breaking things down. My brain works a little differently than most. Good, bad, and different. And so the attack on October 7 was timed. The Hezbollah missile attacks are timed. The Houthi attacks are timed to bog down Israel. And unbelievably, it's almost unimaginable, the official position of the United States through the executive branch is to attack Israel in every way possible short of attacking it militarily, to undermine its government, to undermine its relationship with other Arab countries and European countries, to demand that it stand down and surrender, which would be a catastrophe, to demand a two-state solution, a final solution where you have a Palestinian terror state right on its border taking over Judea and Samaria, which is the ancestral home of the Jews. Biden's playing right into Iran's hands, purposely, because he has people around him and had people around him who, in fact, are pro-Iran and anti-American in our own government. And we have the river to the sea crowd, Hamas. CARE is a front group for Hamas. Students for Justice in Palestine is another front group for Hamas. Dearbornistan, Michigan, is loaded with Hamas supporters, imams who support the extermination of Jews and the elimination of the state of Israel. This has become part of the Democrat Party base. And Biden will do anything to keep that base because he'll do anything to hold on to power. Put a president in prison, turn on Israel and support evil, open borders. And he's going to do all this Thursday night. He's going to lie to you repeatedly. He's going to infuriate you. He's going to make at least suppositions about Hitler, about dictatorships, about the destruction of democracy. That's not what a State of the Union address is supposed to be about. He will complain about Republicans and a bipartisan piece of legislation, and if only they supported it, the border would be secure. He's going to tell you how fantastic your lives are, the economy, gasoline prices, food prices, inflation. He's going to lie and lie and lie and cherry-pick the information. That's what's going to happen. It'll be a campaign speech.